Hey, what's going on, guys? Pete with Auto Repair Tips. In this video, I'm working on a 14 Nissan Sentra. Customers complain whenever he hits the brake, he hears excessive brake noise. So in this video, I'm going to give you some tips to help you when you're at home doing these brakes yourself to make sure your job goes smoothly. The first thing we're going to do is remove the caliper that's held on with two bolts. This is one, this is the other one. They're held on with 14 millimeters. And always remember when you're doing your brakes, take a second and look around. Look at your brake lines, the rubber lines. Make sure there's no cracks in it and it's not dry. This is pretty good. Okay, we're going to set the brake aside like this. I'm going to get a wire tie. Because these brake lines are good, I'm not replacing it. You don't want to have any stress on the brake line. So we're going to wire tie it up out of the way. All right, that's out of the way. The next thing you're going to want to do is check your caliper slides. That's these right here. You want to make sure they're moving out freely. So all we're going to do with these is pop them off and put a little bit of grease on it before I go back with the caliper. The caliper bracket bolts are held on with a 19 millimeter. There you go. Remove the bracket. After you remove the bracket, the rotor just slides off. After you remove the caliper bracket, the rotor comes off. Sometimes they're stuck on there. Just take a little hammer, tap it like that. That usually loosens it up. Take it off. And that's ready for the new one. These are the parts going on the car. These are your rotors. These are your brakes. I'll have links in the description below to where you can buy these parts at. Anytime you purchase something through any of those links, a small portion helps the channel, and I appreciate that. Rotors are shipped with a coating on it. Helps keep it from rusting. So the first thing we're going to do is clean it off. You're going to take your brake clean and wash it off. Make sure after you clean it, try not to put your hands all over it. You don't want to put oil prints back on it. Turn it around. Time to go ahead and install the caliper bracket. One thing I like to do is I like to take a lug nut and I like to put it on just like that. That way when you put your caliper bracket on, you're not fighting it. This isn't flopping all around. It's secure. This is the noise he was hearing. That's a wear indicator. Every time you applied the brake, it was scraping the rotor. The next thing we're going to do is collapse the piston. All right, this tool here compresses the caliper piston. I'll have a link in the description below where you can get this one out also. This slides over like this. This is going to ride like that. You're going to turn it just like this. Just until it touches the piston. You're going to hold this and watch the piston go in, just like that. Remember when you're using this tool and you're compressing that piston in, it should go in nice and easy. It should not fight you at all. This should be effortless. Once it's flat, loosen it up. Remove the tool. It's a lot easier to put the grease on the slides with the caliper off the car. This is your caliper grease. And it's pretty simple. Pops off like that. Take just a little bit. Put it on there. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. Slide the boot back on. And you're done. Working in and out, and you're done. If you're doing your brakes, this is something you definitely want to do. Because you got to figure, you change your brakes every 30,000 plus miles. And if you lube this up every time you do your brakes, the next time you go to do it, it'll be easier and easier. Okay. It's time to go ahead and reinstall the caliper bracket. Just like anything else, you're going to start these by hand. The hardware kit didn't come with the brakes, but you don't need it anyway. They're in great shape. We're just going to clean them off. Get any dirt and debris that's on there off. When you're installing the new brakes, take a little bit of caliper grease, put it on each end. It doesn't take a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot. Then go ahead and get them installed. Same thing for the back side, a little bit of caliper grease. All right, they fit on there nicely. Just get a pair of dikes, cut off the wire tie. I'm gonna slide these on here, make sure the slides go in. And the brake goes on. One thing I want to point out on the caliper slides, there's two flat spots. Make sure one is facing up and one is facing down. So when you install your bolts, they'll go in nice and flush. And like I said before, make sure you hand start them. You don't have to over tighten them. All right guys, that's it for this side. I'll knock the other side out and we'll go for our test drive. Catch you in a bit. All right guys, there's one more thing I want to tell you. When you install front bags. All right guys, there's one more tip I want to tell you. Before you go on your test drive, make sure you pump the brakes up, because if you don't, and you put that car in gear to take off, you're going to run into somebody because you won't have any brakes. So make sure you pump your brakes up. Guys, that is it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Catch you later.